The x-axis takes issue with three components of the established global order. What do you think these might be, assuming they are anything at all? There is no specific order to the items listed below when they see you with a stunning young woman after you have hit your limit, and the items listed below are not in any particular order. You are able to actually get under their skin since you are not the one who is responsible for cleaning up the mess. You will find out that women are, well, let's just say that they are upset if you do any one of these three things. If you understand what I'm saying, then you have undoubtedly encountered all of this information before. I want you to acknowledge this profound reality within your own being, the fact that you are an IST and an INism, and the extent to which you are a horrible individual. I want you to do this because I want you to stop being so disgusting. It is appropriate for a person to experience success in their endeavors and to feel pride in the things they have accomplished. Put an end to your stress about the past so you can start enjoying the amazing life you have right now. It is appropriate to tell these pampered brats that you will not support them now that they have passed their prime and reached their full potential. Adopt the mindset of a nomad and savor every last drop of freedom that the world has to offer. By the time they are 35 years old, the vast majority of women who do not have the financial support of a male will be impoverished and on their deathbeds. We are not in a position to judge people who have been successful as a result of their own hard work. However, we can't ignore the fact that a relatively tiny percentage of older women have achieved significant financial success. The rest of them who remain this channel is not appropriate for language. Instead, we will study the behaviors of the majority of this group, which comprises of sturdy and independent older women, i.e., these boots are evidently made for walking, and this channel is not appropriate for language. Females who make an effort to be like guys almost always end up embarrassing themselves, which is why I have no use for them. It is essential to keep in mind that only a small percentage of women start companies that end up on the Fortune 500 list. The vast majority of them are wage slaves, which means that they are entirely dependent on their master or employer to meet all of their monetary requirements. These individuals were required to earn a bachelor's degree before being considered for these positions. This was the case both because of financial constraints and the fact that women had to sacrifice their families in order to achieve their current status, which may include employment and what appears to be a respectable way of life. The bulk of these women took out loans, and as a result, they are now enslaved to the bills and credit cards that they owe to the organizations that provided them with the loans. Mortgages and automobiles. The act of making a payment is merely the top of the proverbial iceberg. Regarding their financial obligations, these females are shouldering the burden. From the outside, it might look like they are gaining ground on us. They wouldn't be going through as much misery right now if this x-axis hadn't separated grape a man from the kingdom come. These women may be penniless in spirit, but they have given up on climbing the corporate ladder or starting their own business and have instead decided to settle for a simple lunch as their reward for not pursuing those aspirations. The men in the locker room receive daily inspiration and motivation from Coach Greg Adams, who is a constant presence in the room. These men have amassed their resources and ventured out into the world on their own after coming to the conclusion that there is more to life than serving as a woman's plow horse. They rode the Black Eagle at its maximum speed, knowing that this will drive the woman to explode with wrath when Mr. Monkey Simp arrives at the finish line to whisk her off her feet and down the aisle. In anticipation of his arrival, they rode the Black Eagle at its highest speed. Those days, however, are long gone, since males in today's society will not tolerate restrictions of such a nature. They are opting to have their children in a foreign country. They are paving the way for people to become self-sufficient and provide for their families. There are far more men working in blue-collar and white-collar jobs than there are women. Men have an impact on the lives of other men and are responsible for the spread of the RP. A growing number of men are turning to the practices of monastic communities in order to improve their ability to focus and block out distractions. This x-axis is dissatisfied with the fact that guys are achieving success while they are lagging behind economically and socially. Even if the person is an elderly XX who desperately needs the man's money to climb out of the hole they've dug for themselves, men are too busy succeeding in life to waste time on someone of little value who wants to destroy everything you've worked so hard to achieve. Men are too busy prospering in life to waste time on someone who wants to destroy everything you've worked so hard to achieve. When the husbands awoke, they found that their wives were unhappy and terrified that their worst fears were coming true and that they would be abandoned in the midst of the financial and emotional difficulties that they had brought upon themselves in order to have a child. These difficulties were a direct result of the decision that the wives had made to have children. Younger women who are single and immature have a fascination for younger men who have a romantic backstory. Think about how heartbreaking it must be for an elderly woman who lives alone when she hears that a man has wooed a stunning middle schooler who is on vacation. There is no intended for the phrase junior college to infer that the speaker is referring to a college for young ladies when they are actually speaking to a college for younger students. I should give credit to Coach Greg Adams for coming up with the phrase soar above your opponents, but I'll use it to demonstrate my argument anyhow. When you prove to be stronger than your opponent, she will loathe you more than anything else, and the more senior member of the Axis will strive to beat you into submission once more. They will be subjected to financial exploitation at the hands of wealthy older men who will give their money to younger ladies. Because young men often do not have their lives in order, even if they are successful in convincing a younger man to settle down, he will continue to struggle for years even after he has done so. Every wealthy older man who dates a community college student will be publicly humiliated until he learns his lesson. This will continue until he stops dating community college students. Because Trump believes that the happiest person on earth is a virgin, this person will be given the label of a manosphere. They are willing to offend males in every way possible in order to undermine their sense of manhood. They will persuade all of his fans to abandon him and join the opposition. They act in this manner because they want to exert authority over the man's life as well as his wealth. That is an extreme example of putting oneself first. It is a well-established fact that women dislike guys who behave in a contradictory manner. I will take offense if you tell them that I will never be able to find a woman. If Mary does have children or is caring for the children of another man, you will see steam coming out of their ears, blood coming out of their eyes, and anger coming out of their tongues. When you eventually make the decision to leave, they will rage at you and demand to know why you don't want to have anything to do with X-axis and Shaw in you. If you say something like that to a lady, you can pretty much guarantee that she will either marry you or have the same feelings towards you. Are you aware that no two people experience the same thing in the exact same way? If a guy takes away your authorization to do something in its entirety, you should go ahead and carry it out. Every woman is connected to the sisterhood in some way, especially when it comes to her relationships with males. As a result, they need to work together and communicate in order to fight for the best possible conclusion. A greater number of men would leave their wives and families in order to pursue their own happiness if women did not have this sisterhood vow to protect them. It makes no difference whether a woman has a male partner or not. He could desert her, and she might not be able to find another because the majority of men in this society are monks or too poor to afford a woman. This leaves women in a vulnerable position. In the event that something goes wrong, this guarantees that everyone will have the option to be cared for and rescued by a guy. It is imperative that women band together in an effort to hold men back. Because of this, no woman can afford to have the men in her relationships leave her, and this is true regardless of whether the man she is married to is a member of the Rainbow Coalition or a radical womanist. Every single woman is well aware that having a man by her side offers her the best opportunity to steer clear of a life marked by struggle and destitution. Is it possible to get a job for someone who has a negative attitude toward males who are successful in all aspects of their lives? Please tell me who will have the most success. You can't give up on the people who need you more than they do since they actually require your help. While they see you enjoy a meal at an upmarket restaurant, they sit there fretting about their own future despite the fact that they are one unexpected expense away from declaring bankruptcy. Have you given any thought to the possibility that they might let you go? Do you honestly expect that they will let you go free now that they have access to the entirety of your paycheck? Toby, if you continue to insist on managing the plantation, they will curse you until you alter your mind about doing so since they do not want one of their brothers to be free. To get you back to the plantation, they are prepared to resort to any method, including having Massa and his dogs pull you there. They are concerned that you will achieve financial success and, as a result, independence. To put it another way, this is the reason why you are required to make child support payments. They realize that it will be difficult for you to run once your feet are shackled, so instead of chasing you, they hand you a divorce judgment and send you on your way. In what way are you able to understand what I'm saying? This is a horrifying truth that every man must eventually face. No one enjoys observing your mental suffering. We are fortunate to have access to a variety of additional options. You have the choice of entering the life of a monk or striking out on your own, but you are required to make a solemn pledge that once you leave the plantation, you will never go back.